Kia ora and welcome along to Tuesday's national forecast from us here at Met Service. Well, a fairly active start today across the central part of the country. We've had thunderstorms running on towards that western coast, a fair bit of heavy rainfall as well through parts of Westland and the far northern parts of Nelson as well. And pretty windy for us here in Wellington. Wind speeds wind gusts, I should say, reaching 100 kilometres an hour in most exposed parts of the Botanical Gardens, and even up to 120 around the tops of, say, the Rimutaka Hill Road there. So a windy old start. The good news is, though, things are going to get better as we head through the rest of the afternoon. We are going to find it's slow to clear, though, with this band of wet weather just slowly making its way northwards as we head in towards the afternoon and evening time. It clears away from the south Island as we head in towards the early hours of the morning, but there's still enough wet weather there to bring some high rainfall totals towards parts of, say, the Canterbury High Country, in towards parts of Marlborough, and also across the Cook Strait in towards Wellington, Wairarapa and the Taurua Range. So there is still a series of severe weather watches in place for those areas around that middle part of the country as we head through the rest of this afternoon. So although things are going to slowly get better, at least our winds are going to drop down around the central parts as well as a southerly kicks through. We've still got some wet weather to watch out for, so do keep an eye on the radar charts. It is looking like a wet afternoon across those central parts of the North Island, but we've also got some thunderstorms springing up across those northern parts of the North Island as well. So do watch out for some fairly hefty bursts of rainfall, particularly across the North Island, as we head through the rest of this afternoon. As we head on in towards the night time, you can see as we go through the night, that front carries on moving northwards. It doesn't move too far though, drapes itself across from Taranaki towards Manawatu and towards that eastern coast out towards Wairarapa. And it sits there bringing a fair bit of cloud and patchy rain through the night. A bit of an improving story down towards Wellington once we head in towards the end of the day. But you can see we keep hold of that band of rain right the way through the night time. Down south, a much better story, at least it's looking dry. It will be on the cold side though. There's a real change in air mass either side of that front. If we look at the temperatures, you can see to the north of that, we've got lows around about 14 or 15 degrees Celsius, while down in the south in that southerly cold air mass, we're looking at temperatures back down to around about freezing in places like Queenstown, and even 2s and 3s down towards parts of Canterbury as well. So a real change depending on whether you're north or south of that front. But it is going to be a rather cloudy, wet start for places like Taranaki, Manawatu. The front really loses a lot of its body as we go through the daytime, but it keeps a fair amount of cloud there. More showers spring up across the top of the North Island. And you can see just on the top corner of the screen there, we have got another area of low pressure, and that's staying quite close to the likes of, say, Northland over the next few days. But I think really for many of us it's looking like a pretty decent day if you're on the South Island anyway. There's plenty of clear sky and sunshine. Up north I think we are going to find rather a cloudy story with some showers to come, but the main focus will be where that band of rain sits. So from, say, Taranaki, New Plymouth, across towards those central parts of the high country, and even across in towards parts of Hawke's Bay, keeping a fair covering of cloud there, spells of rain as well. They will start to peter out a touch as we head through the day. To the north of that, we are going to find some clear skies, some nice spells, some fine weather, but you can see once again we find those showers springing up as we head through the afternoon. Into the evening, they'll start to peter out and we should be left with some drier, clearer weather as we head through the night time. And down in the far south, places like Wellington, we are looking at some drier weather and I think some sunshine as well. Wellington, also those southern parts of Wairarapa. A bit more cloud pushing back towards, say, the Kapiti coast for the afternoon. But I think the main emphasis will be beneath that front across that southern part of the North Island. You can see, though, we've still got that really mild air over us. Look at those temperatures for Gisborne. Highs there of around about 23 degrees Celsius and nothing cold by any stretch of the imagination overnight either. Back down to lows of perhaps 11 degrees Celsius in the central parts of the North Island, but generally a very mild and muggy night. As we head down towards the South Island, the weather is pretty simple and pretty settled. There's a few pockets of mist and fog perhaps down the far southern parts of the South Island just to clear away at first, but we're left with plenty of fine, dry and sunny weather. It's a little bit on the cool side first thing, especially down in the far south, but we've got a pretty decent look in at day. You can see there's a touch more cloud around Fiordland, bringing in a few showers through there. Might find a few of those making their way in towards Stewart Island and around the likes of Foveaux Strait in towards perhaps Invercargill. But for most of us on the South Island, it's a dry, fine and sunny looking day. And temperatures are much better than we've seen it today as well. A very different story to what we'll see on Tuesday. So Wednesday is looking like highs back to around about, say, 16, 17 degrees Celsius out through Canterbury. And again, not nearly as cold overnight Wednesday into Thursday. Still on the cool side and definitely cooler than the North Island. but a much nicer looking day for Wednesday. As we head on towards Thursday, we'll keep hold of that high pressure down in the far south. This front, you can see it draped across here, weakens away, and we just keep a fair covering of cloud. We'll still have that milder air feeding on towards the North Island, but I think we will find generally it's a drier looking day for most of us on Thursday. You'll notice that low pressure, though, is still close by up in the far northern parts. If you're up towards the far northern parts of Northland, do keep an eye on the forecast. We have got some wetter weather just skirting the top of the country there. But for the bulk of us, as we head through Thursday, there's plenty more dry weather to come and hopefully a bit more in the way of sunshine as well. That's it from me. This is Ron at metservice.com.